The DK, once he gets his ultimate, does capitalize from the aura in the team fights. Not necessarily the armor component of it, but the attack speed will be really nice. I'm just concerned about their lanes. You have the DK against the Timbersaw. You have the Drow versus the Nature's Prophet that Blitz was already talking about. And then you have Pango versus Gyrocopter and Coddle. I don't think any of those lanes particularly sound great to me.
3 potentially losing lanes.
Yeah.
And that's usually a recipe for disaster in any given Dota 2 game, particularly when you're versing 2-time TI champions OG, a team known for their aggression, known to run over teams and just not give you any room to breathe, which is exactly what I feel like OG's draft will be looking to accomplish. Seb, early Blightstone is looking to already get the early right clicks in, and this is just so hard to deal with the single target of Venge Drought. You're going to have these Treants minus armor. No-Tails up here as well.
He's actually just going to fissure block and most likely go bottom. I always forget that with OG they do a 4-position, 5-position safe lane shaker from No-Tail. Oh, it's Saksa.
Okay,
oh
no, they've swapped it up there. So Saksa is going to play the shaker, and he is going to the offlane with the Nature's Prophet. So they have done No-Tail on the shaker, I feel like, most games, though. And Shaker is going to, let's see, he's done double fissure block top. We'll see where he ends up. He is going to go back to the top after getting the bounty rune, so it will be your typical kind of expected dual lanes coming out of OG. Unexpectedly, Boom has sent DK bottom. They do not want him laning against the Timbersaw. So a mid Pangolier.
So Pangolier doesn't really do anything to Timbersaw either, but since he's an agility hero, that Whirling Death primary stat loss makes it so it doesn't do nearly as much damage to him. So he should be better off than the DK. But that does not change that 33 will absolutely free farm this lane. You'll also have it constantly shoved into the tower by virtue of Swashbuckle being too long of a cooldown super early. I think this is better than the on-paper lanes for Viking GG, but it doesn't really change my opinion on potentially having a disastrous landing stage. So we'll see what they do. Maybe early to rotations, which from Shadow Demon Venge.
The disasters have begun, by the way. Drow, 0 CS so far. Wave onto tower.
Yeah,
Drow with terrible base damage. And, oh, by the way, Venge is dead up here.
Yeah.
You just dive the tower. You've got a double creep wave. You've got Treants. You've got Blightstone. The Courier is being juked. He wants the Courier. He needs to get it. He misses it with the multi-shot. Oh, it's a disaster. And Seb can TP home if he wants to heal back up here. And he's going to do just that. He has the teleportation to get back to lane. So he's going to be full health and mana with some extra gold to spend on some early game items. Oh.
Drow also is very vulnerable to getting dove under tower. Part of the reason why the hero is not seen very much right now. And Venge as a support does not address that problem at all. Which, as a Prophet with a shaker that always fissure blocks the lane back when the lane's pulled back, the lane's going to naturally push into your tower, because what happens is the first creep wave meets closer to their tower, but then their second creep wave gets there sooner than your second creep wave, which naturally makes the lane shove into your tower when you have an Earthshaker in the offlane like this. So it's just something you have to expect when you see this Prophet plus Shaker lane. And when they picked this Drow, I guess they just didn't plan for that to happen at all. As we see them trying to pull the lane back on Celery, as he gets fissured and takes a lot of damage in the process. This top lane's already looking pretty rough. 3 CS for Drow. I guess Venge does have 4 CS, so there's something to that. But Timbersaw, meanwhile, also free farming the mid lane. Even has an Orb of Venom. Whenever you're absolutely free farming on Timbersaw, your best way to dish out even more damage is to right-click them a lot, even though your right-clicks can tend to be a bit underwhelming. You just don't have enough mana in the early game to spam your spells just yet. So those right-clicks do add up, since the other person really doesn't want to right-click you at all. As another Courier goes down in the bottom lane, Aramis just sniping Sumail's Courier real quick.
Nothing too annoying. I mean, obviously, you don't want to lose that Courier, but it looks like Sumail already got his Wraith Band out to the lane and has his items. He's full health, half mana. He's more than okay in this lane, even without the Courier to bring him anything. And plus, he's got the Chakra magic behind him to keep him nice and healthy. And Sumail, with a pushback from onto Aramis with No-Tail, they're doing some big damage here. They're winning these harass trade convincingly. Yeah, No-Tail even going to give him a little tip on that one.
You have this Shadow Demon that's supposed to scare them by, another kill top. Yeah, I guess we should be probably keeping an eye on this lane, as Drow Venge quite vulnerable.
I don't know if Chad wants us watching this one. It's going to be a rough time.
That's a good point, actually. Maybe for his sake, we just don't.
I don't know if it gets much prettier. It's always it's kind of to me a question of like how early does this drow even just go jungle? The problem is I guess you can't. Yeah, until like level 6, and even then your level 6 jungle is not what it used to be. So you have to lane. Does the other support rotate up there? Can you leave DK alone?
These are all good questions that eventually they'll have to choose the lesser of both evils. Okay. I don't think any of it sounds good, but which one of those sounds the least bad is what they'll end up having to go for. Yep. And that's up to them because none of it, I don't want to have that weight on my shoulders.
Well, we're going to see another kill in the top lane. Sucks. You're about to say, get that kill, please. If I can GG. It goes the way of Shad. It looked like Celery was trying to leave it to him, but they're going to probably both die for this one. Celery would love to grab those bounty runes. He's going to turn and just try and fight Seb. Throws out the wave and...
Wait, what? Oh, he just stopped. Oh, okay. He just wanted Toby to get the solo kill. That makes sense.
Toby comes in, ends the streak. Unfortunately, a 4-kill streak doesn't give the kind of gold it used to. Toby does get the bottle refill, only 300 gold.
They're only down by 1K despite this top lane going the way it is. I don't really know where this gold is coming from for them. Pangolier is a higher net worth than Timber mid, just based off that kill, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though the kill streaks do give less gold, creeps also give less gold. So maybe effectively at this stage in the game, they give about the same.
Ooh.
It's really hard to like address these. How much gold is a lot at this stage because creeps just give so much less. Whenever I see a melee creep, because obviously there's a bit of variance to how much gold they give, whenever I see it drop 29 gold, I'm like, holy crap, that's like nothing. There was days where creeps gave at least 40, and now seeing a 29, the first digit being a 2 is just so strange.
I'm wondering if it's even like a creep or if it's like a treant or something.
Yeah, really though. It's so weird. I wonder how it's going to end up playing out. I think a lot of people have speculated all types of implications. You know, heroes like Alk and Bounty Hunter having these innate gold mechanics that didn't get changed at all. Will they benefit the most? Is it these heroes that rely on less items that will benefit the most? Is it heroes that rely on slower paced games that benefit the most? Heroes that rely on levels? You know, what's going to end up being the high, like who's going to be the beneficiaries of these random changes?
Because nothing about the XP was changed, right?
Yeah, so nothing about XP. Creeps will still give the same amount.
So everyone's kind of fighting with a similar amount of levels, just slightly less items, essentially.
Exactly. I have to believe heroes like Anti-Mage will struggle due to it because their scaling with levels is just bad. On the other hand, you have a hero like Terrorblade who, even though he does rely on getting a lot of farm, his farming speed is heavily determined by levels, just by virtue of Metamorphosis and Conjure Image scaling so well. This Drow, yeah, we're pointing out her skill build. Only level 3 at 6 minutes in. I think it's going to be a lot on Toby this game. He's their offlaner. He's supposed to be their playmaker.
Yep.
This game he was given a solo 1v1 mid. Pangolier can absolutely take over games.
Especially if he's going to have rune control this game. Like, Timbersaw is a hero that's probably just going to be plonking himself in the mid lane. If you grab those power runes and make some plays, could look good. Saxa, he goes down. He was completely out of position, I believe, partly because of the DC. And unfortunately, elsewhere, Aramis is going to die to Sumail. So a support for support trade. Sumail did get fairly low in the process, and you asked about some of the where the gold is the fact it's even. It feels like Sumail is actually not having the best time down bottom. His net worth not particularly high.
I like what Toby's doing in the mid lane as we see bottom, just a constant brawl back and forth, but this is a tanky DK. One of the reasons he's such a better side laner now is they did buff his base movement speed to 310 over the course of several patches, and that long chase distance that you saw there would usually be much more potent when he's only 290 or so that he used to be. But yeah, Toby just doing the complete dodge game. Saxa looking to punish this efficiency that Toby is going for as he goes for the first item Javelin, and he's just farming the wave as well as the camp. And Toby
as well.
he should be fine if he gets past the fissure.
Oh, he's got a homing missile on him. Sumail came in
never mind. By fine, I mean he can get a nice reset of health and mana by going to base.
Yep. Well, he goes down. Not the biggest gold bounty as Sumail gets the last hit on the kill.
And he suddenly goes mid, and 33 now follows the DK to bottom. Boom has no desire to lane this. Doesn't have his ultimate yet, so he's going to TP mid instead. We're definitely going to be seeing Pango mirror the movements of Timbersaw.
LTP's top. They're fighting up here. Seb's gotten 1 kill, and looks like Seb's going to get out because he got low on health, and he can TP to any lane he wants to. Well, actually, no, Gyro cancels his TP. He stays mid. Looks to continue to pressure Boom.
I like what Toby's doing. He has to do exactly this. This Timbersaw is a serious issue, and he is just doing his best to occupy 33's time as he TP'd here, bottling up. He's actually going to Rolling Thunder to the next creep wave.
Okay, why not?
You have to. Like, if you're not doing this, who on your team is? Not the Shadow Demon, not the Venge, not the Drow, and not the DK. So Toby's only job in the early game against Timbersaw is to mirror his movements and stop him from taking your towers.
Yeah, so just by taking the creep wave away, Timber's unable to pressure those towers, it seems.
Yep, absolutely. And he's actually going to Timbersaw now. What is he doing? I'll keep an eye out on him.
Has that early Maelstrom queued up. Back in the mid lane, Boom has hit level 6. And, Seb snipes a kill with his ultimate, but it doesn't look like the Dragon Form is going to lead to too much tower damage with the Gyrocopter sitting there. Does seem like Seb is intent, despite being top net worth, to go for the team items. Has a mech queued up and is looking for another kill here with the fissure block. Saksa is going to set up a nice kill for Seb. And down goes Celery. These Viking GG supports have been struggling a bit, to say the least, this game.
His bottom lane is hilarious. I've been watching it for the last 45 seconds.
Toby's actually playing about the off lane?
He's actually playing really well right now. I'm watching him. He has to get as much farm as possible while buying 33's time and not dying.
Oh, he's coming in for a kill now in the mid lane. The Swashbuckle up with the disruption.
No mana.
Toby gets...
Oh, no.
Can't get the Rolling Thunder off.
I love how every time I say a player's playing well, they do that.
Yep. He flubbed it. He went for the greedy Swashbuckle to Rolling Thunder, didn't have the mana, and by the time he did, he just got chain stunned and couldn't get it off.
All things considered, 12-3 kill score. I could imagine the net worth advantage being higher for OG, so Celery is getting dove in the mid lane.
Yep. If they'd got that Sumail kill with the Pengo ultimate, that would have been huge for them, though.
Yes, absolutely. And Toby dying once or twice, I'd say if he dies one more time, this game is going to be ugly. I don't have really a better way to word that. It's
nice.
I think their hope really does lie on him, as Seb's already got a mech.
Yeah, this is... They're going to run into damage problems
Yeah,
very
look at
quickly.
this Prophet's net worth. Holy crap.
Yep. I think Seb just is like understands he's kind of unkillable with this item build. Sumail just farming stacks with the creep waves that got pulled into him as well, so he's well and truly catching up after a slightly challenged laning stage. Seb is 8-1, by the way. I just realized that. He's been in 9 of these 12 kills around the map.
The one thing I'm wondering is where are the auras going to be coming from as they do kill the
he's
Coddle?
hasted. Oh, he doesn't want to die for the Gyrocopter. Steals the Ironwood tree as well, so...
Not bad.
Some free early game stats.
I just don't understand if the Pango's building Maelstrom. I hope he goes back for, like, Greaves or something, because they do need sustain on Viking GG's lineup. When you have Drow, just right-clickers that can't afford to just run away all the time, you do need that mana potential. As Seb TP's mid behind Celery.
Oh, he tried to smoke his way out of that one. That was ambitious.
Maybe just a misclick. I'm not sure. I think he was trying to Quelling Blade. He's just swapped the inventory slots.
Makes sense. As Viking GG continue to feed away kills, but the gold is still looking
they went
okay.
down, actually.
Yeah, they are getting some farm. Drow is slowly catching up, playing the farming triangle. Shad's just been living here for a little while, farming with the triple Wraith Band and every now and then poking his nose in the mid lane to get some last hits. Does Drow turn this game with enough farm? Is that a thing?
That's a great question. The thing is that her ult no longer scales the way it did in the past because it only goes through base armor.
And against Timbersaw, that's a big problem.
Yeah, against Timbersaw, against the mech, plus like most likely Vlad's and Medallion coming out from Seb. He's got an Orchid queued up now. Okay. Maybe. Gyro doesn't really build armor items. So his HP will effectively be taking pure damage.
Yep. 33 going to look to defend the tier 1 tower down bottom, but he just went charging in, gets caught by a Soul Catcher, taking a lot of damage here. The Rolling Thunder chain setting him up nicely, but the damage is, oh yeah, it's just barely enough in the end as Seb does get a return kill on Celery. The Echo Slam going to be slightly off the mark as Toby gets out of this one, and OG committing all 5 heroes to the fight to defend the tier 1. Flack going to kill out a Courier. Now the nice Will-O-Wisp is going to pull everyone back in. Aramis was trying to help out his buddy Boom, but Boom is just trapped inside this Coddle ultimate. Gets out a few more spells, breathes fire onto a couple heroes to get them low. Fisher going to catch Aramis, actually blocks him in.
Is he going to die to this poison?
He's got an easy kill.
Oh, he waited to pop the poison. He might have been able to kill.
He was trying to catch a 3rd poison, maybe.
Okay, so
OG commit everyone to defend that, but Shad was farming. We'll take another look. 33 just melted, it feels like. He did
Shadow Demon's Soul Catcher is quite deceiving on these
Yeah.
on these beefy strength heroes. It's just percent pure damage of your health.
Didn't have any reactive charges at the start of the fight as well.
Huh. I like that teams like OG, they just don't give up any objectives for free. Even when you're ahead like this, it's not good to be complacent. Your safe lane tower is really the only tower the opponent's ever going to go for. And making them expend this many resources time and time again to take it down is super important. You do have to be careful of feeding away too many kills because Drow is just farming. But it looks like Viking GG is going to be able to secure this tower now. Nothing of note has really happened since. Both teams have taken a chill pill as Boom is actually farming the jungle until his DK forms up. He does have Blink, so that gives them a little bit of initiation. Going first item, Ags on the Gyrocopter, has the level 10 damage talent. So Celery is queuing up the Vlads on the Vengeful Spirit. You always need a Vlads on Drow's team, always.
All right. I mean, if they come online, this Venge Drow combo was all the rage if you go back sometime. And maybe that's the issue. You got to go back a few patches for when this duo was king of the pubs.
It used to be the most broken duo because Venge's aura made every hero drop an illusion, and the Drow illusion would actually just kill you. If you killed the Drow, you'd die like full to 0 to a Drow illusion, which in and of itself was a pretty broken idea. So we do see a smoke coming up from Viking GG. They have the Blink DK. They have all their ultimates. Pretty low cooldown team, but 33 does break the smoke. Will-O-Wisp used.
Insta Will-O-Wisp. Toby's going to get the Rolling Thunder out. Cancels the Timber Chain. He's catching out the backlines. Boom's managed to get himself out of the Will-O-Wisp.
Lockdown.
Yeah, Gyro's in a very aggressive position. Does have the call down, but he dies before he can follow it up with any damage. Does set up a kill onto Toby, so it's a 1-for-1 trade so far. And Seb showing up to the party. We've seen this one before.
God, he hits so hard.
Leads up. The right clicks.
That's no damage from his ultimate either. He just has that 30 damage talent at 10. Already hits for 165 with a Blightstone.
They're not done. They're going to catch
no Yules.
Aramis.
Oh!
He found the perfect spot where he could fog them for just long enough.
Yeah, he had mana for Fissure. I just think it took a bit too long to process that he was there.
Yep. So, think so. And now we are under 1k gold advantage.
What a weird game.
OG keep winning these fights in terms of kill-for-kill trades. They're getting like 2-for-1 trades, but the entire time, Drow is free farming. Gold is dipping closer and closer to a Viking GG advantage, despite an 18-6 kill score. Look at Dota Plus. It loves the Drow Venge. It's given Viking GG a 65% win chance.
That is peculiar, I think, to say the least. They have a lot of tools in the late game for sure. Not only that, but Pangolier is one of the best scaling offlaners just by raw damage output. He's going for the Treads Ags build. I thought he was going to go back for Auras. He says, no, I'm the carry.
He's like, I play mid, right? That means I get to go these items. That's how it works.
And DK has gone for the Blink BKB. So it's all on the Venge for the Auras. He's got Vlad's queued up, as we said.
Yep. But
that's a 5 position. So other than that, they're content with no other Aura items for a very long time. As on the other side, we have a mech from the Prophet. And that's it, actually. So both teams really skimping out on the Auras. He is going first item Lotus on 33. Why? That's the question. I guess for the Soul Catcher as well as the Silence.
Okay.
The swap is probably worth considering as well. When you're Lotus, you just swap back, so effectively does nothing.
Well, the game going to slow down. Perhaps OG realizing they're doing okay in these fights, but they're having to commit everyone. And I mentioned OG just like, anybody seen Drow lately? Like, she been on the map? And they're probably just thinking like, no, not really. Like, she's been hitting creeps, right? They're probably getting worried about how farm Shad is getting. They see that scoreboard and they're like, yeah, Shad's level 12. Probably see that Dragonlance and think, yeah, how much gold has this Drow got backing up what was a very poor start? Suddenly, Shad is back in this game.
I really don't know how this game's going to play out as we go. I usually try to make predictions, and luckily I haven't seen this type of lineup before, so I don't have the option to make the wrong one, gods.
Oh, that's left. The non-prediction. That's the only way you can be right, is that it? You finally gained the system.
It's the closest. Yeah. It's the closest I can be.
Careful, 33. That's that mango tree there. Be careful what you do with those things. That's a cute little mango tree placement. I'm enjoying seeing a mango tree for one's not inside
nice
the base.
Vision. He cancels the TP.
He's got no blink for
Sprout
a little
for
bit.
Vision. They see him.
Blink in 5. Does Boom look to turn this one? What's the play?
Shadow Demon immediately TP'd, so they know their DK stuck on his own little island here.
Does manage to get out, and when do Viking GG look to fight is probably the other big question. And when I say fight, I mean fight with all 5. The Drow Ranger yet to show up to a single
up the E-Blade on Drow.
Okay.
Rather than the Butterfly. I don't really see what Butterfly does, but I also...
I'm not
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what E-Blade / like what your plan is against Gyro as the game goes on. We've seen how scary Gyro is when he gets items. Maybe they'll have to consider giving him armor though, as they do get the blink on Soxa. It just came up, or it just got purchased. Looks like a free tier 2. I can't imagine they want to contest on Viking GG's side. Aramis might be here to give them a casual bonus kill. Looks like he's going to be careful though. That TP cancel on Boom was, even though it didn't lead to a kill, pretty huge because it forced the rest of Viking GG to make sure he was protected. That potential threat of your effectively mid laner being isolated in the top lane did force 4 members from Viking GG to be there.
We'll see if OG can get more done with this Blink Dagger on Shaker now. We'd love to find some pickoffs. Feels like Shad in this jungle has gone more or less ignored as he does pick up his Eagle Song. And yeah, E-Blade is on the way. As Notel going to get found in the jungle. The Fissure is actually blocking him from retreating, unfortunately. But they get the return around and they kill the Vengeful Spirit.
On Toby.
Yeah, Toby's in all sorts of trouble. Does swashbuckle away from the Sprout.
Yes, ult.
Yeah. Maybe needs to ult, go for a TP out.
He's going to probably do it now? After the W? Yeah, okay.
Wave, there we go.
Oh my god.
Very
You have to respect
close.
that attempt by Soxa. That was a matter of milliseconds there.
And respect Toby knowing the exact latest he could TP out.
Yeah. He tipped him. He even respected that play by Soxa.
I imagine, yeah, he was sweating.
They're just going to turn that into a Roche. Yep. They know that the rest of Viking GG just left that top half of the map. They can tell with this Timber Saw, they have no desire to fight on the side of Viking GG. And the best thing you can do when the opponent doesn't want to fight is just force objectives on your own terms.
Yeah. And Sumail is going to be the perfect objective taker with this Ags into BKB. Now with an Aegis, he can just play very cautiously. So what's the deal with E-Blade? Like, this is not... It's not like some huge, heavy physical damage here that the E-Blade necessarily counters this game.
It is your highest Agi item, so your ultimate does give 36% Agi bonus at this stage. So he does effectively, instead of getting 40 Agi, he does get about 55, which is worth considering. Aside from that, I'm not exactly sure. I think the active of it is kind of a side note. Butterfly doesn't really do anything, and he wants Agi. Yep. That's basically the conclusion I'm coming to.
All right. We'll see how it plays out. It's going to be a new take on the old Drow Ranger.
E-Blade into BKB, it looks like. He does absolutely need a BKB against Gyro, Keeper of the Light, Earthshaker, Timber. I just named 4 of their 5 heroes.
So he doesn't need a BKB because it's not all 5.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, he can postpone it a couple more items.
Yeah, this is Pub's like, nah. If only 4 of the heroes have stunned, no BKB needed. Nice swap out, saves Aramis, but Celery.
Flag, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I know he does end up surviving, and they've still got the Venge Illusion, so they've got that Venge aura in this fight. They're going to keep on trying to fight with the Drow Ranger, but the survivability of this Radiant team. They pop the mech and they're A-OK. They do lose the Keeper of the Light here. DK's in some trouble here. The Chakram going to break the Sprout, but he silenced up the E-Blade there to help him out.
It's a Bloodthorn, not an Orchid.
Well, perhaps that's why the E-Blade's there, to try and save your team, but 33 on the front lines is just so down. Taking the blink, the Echo Slam catches out the back line. Stroud Ranger in trouble. Shad going to go down without buyback as he just bought out this E-Blade, and Toby now silenced up is just melting to the right-click damage. He goes down without buyback, and OG may just go high ground.
I think it's just so easy for OG to take fights with their heroes innately. I think if you are drafting against OG, you kind of have to plan to fight them. And in the first game, Viking GG, their lineup didn't fight all that well. And in this game, they didn't draft really any team fighter other than the Pangolier, who built Maelstrom Max. So this Bloodthorn is the most potent Bloodthorn I've seen in the history of this tournament. As
probably one of the few we've seen.
Yeah.
They're going high ground. They're looking to take racks now. They're back in the tier 4s. They're giving them the GG branches. You know, it's looking like Viking GG is just dead.
Boom has no ult.
I mean, those ults I don't think reflect where the game is at right now, as Viking GG have just lost hero after hero. Their high ground is being sieged. Timber is just up in the DK's face. A swap save being forced from Celery as Sumail pops the BKB, just looking to flack off absolutely everybody. Toby rolling around. We'll catch No Tail in the corner here. The Ag's doing some damage, but not really enough, as OG have just bullied Viking GG deep into their base. The cooldown comes out. The stun onto the Venge secures the kill. They lose the Coddle once again. Poor No Tail's having a bit of a rough time, as the multi-shot does find him, but the Sprout onto Boom. He's being caught. Follow-up stun. And OG have caused a dieback on the Dragon Knight, looking to seal the deal here. 33, once Shad, he finds a tree on the other side of the enemy base where you don't normally expect to be gone on, and Shad, I think, knows his life is absolutely done for. He's trying to hold his ground and fight, but it's a team wipe, and OG have now secured themselves game number 2 and a spot in the Grand Finals against Virtus Pro. We've got a banger of a Grand Finals for you, and unfortunately, Viking GG perhaps a bit figured out today in this best of 3.
I think the way Viking